This has been a really long week, and it's only Monday, but sort of this week started Friday. I've got some things I need to deal with. There is a fly in the van that is absolutely driving me crazy, and I want to explain why I don't like bucket lists. Let's go. The idea of the bucket list actually comes from that movie with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. I think it's called The Bucket List. The guy that wrote the original story came up with the idea of the bucket list. And it caught on in all sorts of media. I don't normally use a ladder, but I have 3 boats on the roof at the moment. There's nowhere to climb to. Well, that's clearly not going to work. So it caught on in lots of different media and became a thing. Oh, and I hear it all the time. People say it to me all the time. Oh, you paddled the Inside Passage? That's on my bucket list. Oh, you helped someone prep for an HE trip? That's on my bucket list. People just use that phrase all the time, and I hate it. Well, this was the only thing that would work. So, I don't like that concept, because people put the things that they want to do in this bucket list, and then they don't really do any of them, and I really don't like that. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix this right now. And they don't really, I'm driving home. Well, we'll get to what I was doing this weekend, but it was over 100 degrees while I was driving home, and this boat that I borrowed picked up 2 oil can dents that I was going to try and deal with tonight, but I can't really get to them, and so I am not going to be able to get to them. I'm not going to be able to deal with them tonight. I don't have a horse in the rudder versus skeg debate, but this is definitely a problem with the skeg world. That skeg ain't going down. Well, I'm gonna have to fix that when I get back. It's not so much the concept of putting things in a bucket list that I don't like. I like the concept of saying, hey, this is something that, let's adjust this. This is something that I really want to do. I like that concept, but the problem with a bucket list is things go on that list and then they never get done. And so there is something that I actually prefer, and that's called a life list. I first read about a life list probably 20 years ago in Outside Magazine. And essentially it's a list of things that are good to accomplish in a lifetime. And a lot of the things in it were, well, I'll try and find a link to the original life list and I'll put it in the doodly-doo below. I saw it recently, I'm just not sure I can find it again. A lot of the things that were on the list were a little dated. And was very male-centric. And so I think you can... Now, there was one fly driving me crazy. Now there's 30 in here. This is not good. And so, really, there's like 30. So it's things like climb a mountain, or if you're a rock climber, climb 512, right? Or make my own whiskey, which I'm not going to do. learn to fix a car without a mechanic, which 30 years ago was doable and today is not because everything is computerized, and that's what I mean by it was a little dated. And so I think I like the idea of the life list more because it's easy to cross things off. You have the list, you keep it running, you're adding things to it, you're taking things off it as you finish them. And so for me, one of the things on my life list was to kayak the Inside Passage, which obviously I've done because I talk about it all the time. There's like a million flies. Permethrin for the win. Cheers. So I love the idea, the concept of the life list. And a great example of that is what I was doing this weekend. On my way back from New York, where I spent the weekend working with a pair of women who were friends, who reached out to me during COVID and said, look, when COVID calms down, we want to do a kayaking adventure. We've never been kayaking. So I went up and did a first lesson with them to get them started. And tonight, it's now the next day, I'm going to send them an email with a list of next steps. I'm a big fan of the concept of next steps. Here are things to work on. Here's what you did really well. Let's keep moving forward. And so, again, another thing I say all the time is that if you want help doing something like that, if you want to make a life list, if you have things you want to work on, it doesn't have to be kayaking related. You can reach out to me and I'll help you with it, or at least get you started. I offer what are called discovery calls. They're really discovery Skype or FaceTime or Zoom calls. Where we spend 30 minutes talking about what you want to do and the steps you need to take to do those things. And it's free. The first 30 minutes at least is free, and we can do a lot in 30 minutes. And then if you want to work with me on paddling or backpacking or navigation or any of the stuff that I do, I'm happy to help you. And there's also my book, Go, which is exactly designed for this. I've helped people plan for backpacking trips and cycling trips and paddling trips and climbing trips. Name it, I can help you prep, and if I can, I know someone who does. And this isn't really a commercial for the stuff that I do. I want you to do these things, and if I can help you, I'm happy to help you. So that's why I like the life list. These two women, I think, are doing a great thing, and that it's something that they want to work towards, is doing a kayaking adventure, and they're starting at 0, which is not a bad, everyone starts something at 0. So that's something I think that you all should be working on, and that's something that I'm working on with my sailing stuff. So be working towards goals. Man, I had another conversation with a different friend this morning about working towards goals. So I think it's a good thing to be working on. And I'm going to finish this whiskey. It's really hot. I'm going to kill some flies, and I'll see you outside. And I don't want to paddle with your paddle. Give me that paddle. My paddle's a little bit longer than yours, but other than that, everything else is going to be the same.
It's lighter.
Oh, this thing's lighter.
Ah!
This is actually a pretty good paddle, but it's an